All right, here we are live. Hello, you guys. I am so glad to spend tonight with you. And whether you're here live or you're catching the replay, welcome. I just really appreciate you taking the time and I'm so excited to share this process with you tonight. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Tina Salisbury. I'm a master life design coach. I am the founder of Momentum, my group coaching community for purpose-driven women. And I'm also the creator of Mind and Body Confidence Camp. My coaching is helping women just like you to awaken to their true identity, their beliefs, and the success systems that help to really take you to the next level of what greatness means for you, while also being able to live fully and enjoy life all along the way, right? That balance is so important. So I am hosting this class, 4 Steps for a Reset in Life, for a class that I'm going to be teaching inside Momentum so that everyone is on the same page when we start. So for those of you that are joining me in class in Momentum, this is homework. This is the required work that I want you guys to do to make sure that you're in the right mindset for the next 30 days of what we're going to really be focusing on. And for those of you who aren't current members of Momentum but want to join us, I'm really glad that you're here. Stay with us to the end because tonight I'm going to be sharing a few bonuses with you that will only be available for those who register tonight. So I want you to be able to take advantage of those. And for all of you who aren't going to join us in class, but are here and want to learn how to reset, this is going to be a really informative class that you'll really be able to benefit from. But I want to really encourage everyone to join us in Momentum. If you join now, you'll get the rest of the month of June included, plus all of the month of July for this class. So I really want you to be able to do that, take advantage of that. As I mentioned, there's some bonuses that will be available. And I want to just really teach you, anyone who needs a reset in their life, anything that you want to begin again, this class is really going to be for you. So the class that I'll be teaching inside Momentum, it's called 8 Pounds Down. And it's basically for people who want to reset their bodies, their weight, their mind. Maybe you feel like nutrition's kind of just gotten a little bit out of hand, or without even noticing it, you kind of quietly stopped doing some of the things that were previously helping you to feel better. So this is often when I find this happens to me and others when we kind of start asking those questions like, when did I actually stop this? Like going to the gym or planning out my meals or focusing on more veggies, right? So this class is definitely something that'll help you to be more intentional and focused to reclaim those habits that help you to feel better or help you to really level up where you need to go to be able to feel more sustainable in those habits too. Okay, so I am also going to teach this class for those of you who might claim to be perfectionists. Is there anyone here with that? Or even those people who maybe are like results driven. Sometimes we achievers call ourselves results driven, but really it's a lot about being a perfectionist. But any of you guys who really want to feel better on that path of getting where you want to go, are tired of living in that space of doing everything or nothing and going back and bouncing between those two, and living that lifestyle that constantly bombards us with feelings of more guilt and shame and not enoughness. This class, 8 Pounds Down, is really going to help you because it's going to teach you what I would call the psychology of progress, right? So let me tell you what I mean by that. So we all are here living, like having a biological experience, right? We are a product of evolution. So our brains, how they were programmed previously, right? Like even back to like caveman times, is still how our brain operates today. So our brain operates in this certain way to keep us safe from danger, to experience more pleasure and decrease the amount of pain that we experience. Those are the three kind of the motivations for our brain and how it operates in everything that we try to do. But we aren't those same beings, are we? We're not daily struggling to find enough food or running from tigers to survive another day. So when I really learned more about how our brain was operating, how my brain was operating to help me, and that the things that it was trying to do to keep me in that comfortable bubble of my comfort zone, that it was trying to really serve me, but those things really weren't very useful to me in a lot of the things that we have in our modern world. So when I really kind of discovered that, it gave me more courage to really look at the experiences that I was having, right? To stop really utilizing those things to that were happening for, to me or around me, to really give myself the information that I was capable or not capable, that I was also starting to recognize in myself that, you know what, I don't really have to be special or better. I can really just be average, right? I can be average because none of that matters. There's not like some superhuman power that I need to have to be able to accomplish a goal. It's really just about, keep doing and learning and growing. So if I could just be average, then I started asking myself, I wonder if it would be okay for me to do what I call B+ work, right? Or what I teach a lot in momentum as far as like living in the messy middle, right? Not the all or nothing, not you do everything or you do nothing, but just kind of like living in the middle of that, right? In B+ work. Now, this was really a totally different way for me to think. The girl who must get straight A's and needs to get it right all the time and must be, need to work myself harder to get to the top, that type of gal, like totally me. And so this was really different, but it was really pretty freeing to me to really look at it this way. And I just really think that that's really good for us to know that as average humans, we can let ourselves off the hook a little bit, right? I can let myself off the hook a little bit. And we don't need to be extraordinary beings to do extraordinary things. Instead of making what you do or don't do mean something about yourself and about your abilities, like you can just focus on learning and getting better. And all that we have to do to win at the things that we want in life is to be consistent in learning the skills that really matter towards the goals that we're trying to take and be better at. That's it. So like we just have to be relentless learners, the most curious, aware, and open students that we can be. So this class that we'll be teaching and learning and going through together in momentum is going to open you up to see exactly how to experience that, right? And you'll see some really profound long-term changes that can really come from these short bursts of intense focus, of learning and being aware and dropping the judgment that accompanies a lot of those things that we've tried to do as we get to our goals before, right? And finding that value, placing more of that value on less value on reaching your goal, right? On reaching the result, and more value on the sincere pursuit of your goal and learning no matter what will help you to really master all of the things that you want in your life. So anyone can join us to talk about any area of their life, right? And work on any of the areas of their life. So we're going to be mostly focused. I'm going to focus my reset in that area of health. So I'm going to be recording one short video on my phone every single day for you to check in and listen to and get motivated and focused every single day, right? So this will be fun for us to do and just be really engaged in that. And I'm going to be doing the reset for myself. So I'll be sharing my own personal work that I'm going to be doing. And hopefully it'll set a really good example and be really helpful to you to see someone else go through this process too, right? Somebody that's coaching you to also be doing this, getting coaching and coaching myself as well. So one of the most important things that we can go through in this process, and that I really want to make sure that you understand as we start to go through this, is that going through this process and understanding that this 30 days that we're going to be taking, and any time that you take 30 days to do anything, it needs to be a setup for something that you can do long term, right? So if I learned anything, so I'm 44 now, 44, almost 45. And if there's anything that I've learned in that time, plus 10 plus years of kind of doing my own health journey, and eight years of specific health and wellness coaching and mentoring, what I know is that we lie to ourselves a lot and convince ourselves that we can do these really intense, ridiculous, aggressive things for a long period of time, right? When we decide we're going to do it, it's like, yeah, I'm going to do this forever, right? I'm going to do this, and this is going to change my life, and I'm going to live into these behaviors. And it's just not sustainable. And it's really not kind to ourselves to put ourselves back and forth in that place of all or nothing, of being successful or not successful at all. And just not allowing ourselves to, again, have that messy middle experience where we're doing continuous growth type work. So I'm going to take you through this process in this reset. And I want you to remember that the 30 days is setting you up for the rest of the year, right? We're not trying to do 30 days, get the quick results, and then not do it anymore. We are setting it up so that this can really be something that's sustainable for you for the 30 days and for the rest of the year and many, many more years to come, right? That's what I hope is creating that lifestyle for all of us to be able to live into that a little bit more. And what that doesn't mean is that you might never have to do a reset again, right? Like at some point, you probably will have to reset on some of these habits or skills that you want to do. But if you do anything too aggressively, you won't, if you don't do it too aggressively, right? So if you stay in that middle, give yourself really that true B+ work, you're allowing that to happen, then you won't have these extreme results in both directions, right? You'll have a more steady, streamlined minimum baseline of standard that you can move forward and live your life. So when I used to be in the health and fitness industry, one thing that I would do for my clients to really help kind of bolster their results in a way like this was to host 6 to 8 week challenges. So in fact, some of you have probably done those with me. Mary Ellen, I don't know if you did any of those with me, but you probably did, right? And they were really fun, but really the undertone of a lot of those, and not in a malicious way or to ourselves or for me as a coach to people, right? They were there to be motivating, to motivate us to really do more than we thought that we could do. But a lot of that was focusing on, with the challenge of it was lose as much as you can, do these extreme things for 30 to 60 days, right? And then once we were done with that, like it was just an experience, right? So because it was just an experience and it was something that we're like, oh, well, that was great. I love my results, but I don't really want to live like that. Most fell back into their past habits, right? And we often set ourselves up with things like that, right? Like I'm not going to eat sugar again, or I'm going to only eat kale, or I'm going to work out 7 hours a day, right? And try to do these ridiculous things. Now, that obviously I'm exaggerating. I know you're not going to only eat kale. I know you're not going to work out 7 hours a day, but I know that you've probably experienced that I'm going all in type mentality and those behaviors that go with that. Being very restrictive, having a lot of rules, a lot of do this, don't do this, a lot of eat this, don't do this. And I know for me, when I went into those types of things, like diet bets are another good example of that, right? In 4 weeks, lose 4% of your body fat. It's like go all in for these short bursts of times. And I could do it. I've been successful at a lot of things like that, but they just weren't very sustainable. So the results were intense and then they were over. And I just that's not what we're doing here in the reset. Okay, so take that out of your mind. This isn't a 30-day sprint to an extreme result. That's not sustainable. So that's why I wanted to put this call together tonight so that we can go through these steps of this reset and how we're going to prepare our minds to get some pretty significant results in the next 30 days that will provide the motivation, the excitement for the changes that we need to continue to sustain us, right? So for most of us, the most significant results will be in the beginning, in the first 30 days. And that's a really good thing. We want to remember that some of the results that we get may not be as sustainable at that particular level over the next 30 days when you really put a lot of emphasis into this as we move forward. But as long as we're continually making progress, like that's the ultimate goal for long-term success. Isn't this spike of lots of progress, no progress, lots of progress, no progress? We want to create this more sustainable approach for us. So the goal for me and you in this process is short-term and long-term success. Short-term success that'll keep us motivated, and long-term success that'll help us to make the dreams that we have, the goals that we have, that we can have those in our lives. Okay. So as with any goal, as with anything that you want to change in your life, like the strategic byproduct of setting a goal, of doing a reset for your mind, for your body, for your spirit, for your life, whatever it is that you want is truly the mental work that you will do that will be required for you to do to really evolve, right? Evolve as a human. And that will always, I think, be the greatest level of benefit. And secondarily will come like the physical results, right? In terms of like weight loss and things like that. So again, when you come with me for this reset ride, for whatever it is that you want to reset, right? Maybe it's weight loss and you're focusing on that, like I will be, that's the main topic that we're going to be really covering in this particular class. But for some of you, it might be more exercise. For some of you, it might be to do something completely unrelated to health and fitness, like keep your house cleaner. There might be some people who want to quit smoking or quit drinking so much. Whatever it is, like you can join through this process and it'll help you to get there. All right. So I'm going to open up the chat. I'm going to put what these steps are, and let's go through these 4 steps of what this reset will be. Okay. So take some notes because I want you to go through all 4 of these steps for yourself before we get started on the 19th, when we start. Okay. So step number 1 is going to be awareness. So the first step of the reset is called awareness. And what we need to do is increase the awareness over where we're going, right? Most of us need a reset because we've gone slightly unconscious in some area of our life. Maybe we're just not aware of what we're eating. We're not aware of every bite that goes in our mouth, right? And all of a sudden we've gained some weight, or we just don't feel healthy anymore. Maybe we're looking at our body and it's not as toned as it used to be. It's not as flexible as it used to be because we just have unconsciously stopped doing some of those things that we know, and they add up over time to the results that we ultimately are trying to stay away from. So the first step is really doing an audit of yourself, like truthfully doing an audit of yourself. What are you actually eating every day? Now, the number one key to any type of awareness audit, when we go into this and look at what's going on, like where am I right now? Where is my starting point? The number one thing that we want to make sure that we stay cognizant to is that we have to do it with love. Because the reason why we lie to ourselves about what we're eating is, number 1, we don't want to stop eating what we're eating. And number 2, we know that we will give ourselves a good beat down, right? We're going to give ourselves a beat down if we are really aware of what we're doing to our bodies, to our minds, and our spirits. So sometimes it's easier for us to just pretend that we don't have to do that work, that doesn't have to be available to us, right? We're afraid to tell our own selves the truth because we know like we're not going to be kind to ourselves in that regard. So that's why step 1 has to be completed in love and truth, right? Not in judgment, but out of curiosity. So that the way that we're going to do this audit for every single thing that is I want you to write down like an audit, every single thing that went into your mouth yesterday, right? Write down every single thing that you ate. And if you can go back and do this for like a few days or for the last week, or just kind of get a good general handle on that, that will be really helpful. Now, the reason that I say we're going to look at yesterday is because we don't want to edit this, right? If I say for the rest of the week, write down everything that you eat, what's going to happen to your eating? Maybe even at least as a little bit, right? As soon as you put attention and awareness on something, you're going to use your conscious mind, right? That prefrontal cortex that's looking out for your future to start making better decisions. So, but we really need to understand like what has got us to where we're at right now. What have we been eating that got us to this place? And we can understand it with love and truth and really look at like, oh, okay, yeah, I noticed that I actually am starting to snack when I'm not hungry after lunch or in the afternoon. Or maybe it's that you've oh, I see I've gone to Starbucks every day, right? And I buy that milkshake that they call coffee there. Or maybe it's that you've gone to eating dessert at night, and maybe you've just gone to eating out a lot, right? And you just haven't been paying attention to attention to it. And you tell yourself like, oh, this is fine because we're eating out, right? Like it's totally different than eating at home sometimes when we eat out. So those things can just happen, right? And again, we kind of just are quietly moving that direction, and sometimes we're just not even cognizant of it. So this audit is really going to help you to just kind of catch some of that stuff, right? To just be mindful and to be more aware of it. So one of the things that we're going to talk a lot about in the next 30 days is staying conscious no matter where we're at, right? Not making any more excuses about that. Allowing ourselves to process through a lot of those things, right? Like, oh, well, because I'm here, I'm going to do this. And because I'm on vacation, I'm going to eat this. And it's having your life set up so that we want to get to the point where you don't have to change your consistent habits, right? Your consistent habits are livable enough that you can do them on vacation. You can do them when you are at a party or a barbecue, and you can still enjoy your life and participate in your life, right? That's the goal. The goal isn't to shame ourselves because of everything that we have been eating, or, shame ourselves because, and feel resentful and deprived because we tell ourselves we can't have all of these things. Again, I want you to find that messy middle that allows you to develop consistent habits that you just feel good about living in all stages of your life. Okay. So that's step number one, is we've got to really get some awareness around that. So whatever it is that you're wanting to reset, what is the truth about what you're doing right now? Right. So just look at the past, look at yesterday or the past couple of days or the past week, and just ask yourself some questions, right? Some other things around this 8 pounds down. How much are you exercising? How much are you doing yoga or whatever that exercise is that you told yourself you're going to do? How productive and focused are you? If it's business, right? How focused are you on building your business or moving yourself forward with some goals at work? If it's your house, right? How much have you been working on getting your house clean in the way you want? And if you're not, like, where are you spending your time, right? Have you been watching too much TV? Have you been too sedentary, right? Like, find the patterns. If you do this truthfully for yourself, you're going to be able to find the patterns of what you're doing. So tell yourself the honest and the whole truth, but you also have to promise yourself that your truth will be laced with love, right? Your truth will be laced with curiosity, right? Because curiosity will kill the judgment piece of where your mind wants to go. There's no beating yourself up here. There's no reason to beat yourself up You don't need to beat yourself up in order to push yourself forward and be motivated, right? We're going to build those things that are going to pull you forward. And beating yourself up for motivation is just not a good long-term strategy, right? If you beat yourself up to get motivated, you've got to rely back on your willpower, and it won't be sustainable. And you're going to go right back to the same place. Okay. So that's step number one, is to have that awareness. All right. Our step number two that we're going to focus on is, what do you want to be doing and why? So now let me give you a really important caveat to this. So we're not talking about what you want to do without considering what you're going to need to do in order to do it, right? So this is really important, because a lot of times we're like, okay, I want to weigh 30 pounds less, but we don't actually consider what's going to be required for us in terms of our lifestyle and activity levels, and what we're willing to eat and not eat, and what we're willing to do and not do in order to achieve that goal, right? So it's really important. We're not going to pie in the sky this, right? As far as in terms of what we want to do. Like I really want you to consider not just the result that you want in your body, what you want to weigh, but also the lifestyle that you're willing to commit to in order to maintain that. So a lot of times, like I've seen people pick goals, and here's one thing that I think is really important to consider, is a lot of people tell me that it's not possible for them to lose a certain amount of weight, right? They're like, well, I can't weigh 30 pounds less. And the truth is, you absolutely can. And a lot of the work that I've done, like strictly with weight loss, right, as a health coach, has helped people lose weight and get to that point where they never thought that they could. And then they come back, and if they want to and adjust their lifestyle, then we can do that, right? With the reset, we're going to consider what is the lifestyle and the body weight that I want, right? We're not just going to get you to a weight and then decide how to deal with that after the fact, the lifestyle piece, right? In fact, it's critical to have that lifestyle piece and to really live into that right now, right first, right? So with the reset, we're going to consider what is the lifestyle and the body weight that I want, and make sure that we are considering both parts of that. So we're considering, I want to lose 8 pounds this month. Then after that, let's say I want to lose that 30 pounds, another 30 pounds, but I'm not willing to do, if you were telling yourself, but I'm not willing to do that work for 30 pounds, then let's go with 20 pounds or whatever it is that you're willing to commit, not only that weight loss goal, what you want to achieve, but actually the lifestyle that you want to create for that. Okay. So it's the same thing with money goals, right? So if you have a money goal or a goal with your business or something like that, when I work with people on their money goals, and let's say they said, okay, I want to make $10,000 a month, but I know I'm not willing to do the work for that, right? I'm not willing to do the mindset work to actually put myself out there. I'm not willing to make offers. I'm not willing to do all of those things, right? Then that's not really a good goal for you to set, because you're just setting yourself up to not be successful. So tell yourself the truth about that. I really want you guys to really feel honored to be able to do that for yourself. So that's what we're going to pick, why we do what you want, and make sure you know why and what kind of lifestyle comes with that goal. Too many of us have given up what we want because we're way too focused on the result and not on the work that will actually take to create it. So let me tell you one other maybe hack that can really help you through this. Okay. So instead of thinking forward, right, to what that goal is, what that result is that you want to achieve, I actually want you to think backwards. Okay. I want you to think backwards about this. So think about so if you were to have the healthiest year of your life, right? 12 months from now, you're like, oh my gosh, that was the healthiest year of my life. What would that look like? Right? What would that look like? And go backwards to what that would look like for you to have lived your healthiest year of your life, right? So what would you have been able to do physically? What would have been included in your life? What would have been some of the habits that you had? What would have been the things that you were doing and able to do? What would those healthy habits look like? What would your nutrition have looked like? What would your weight look like? A lot of times, if we do that for ourselves, right, we start at the end and come back instead of project ourselves out to this goal and we're only focused on that specific result. That will help you to really start reeling in that lifestyle piece, right? So go backwards, ask yourself that question. If I were to have the healthiest year of my life, what would that look like, right? Fully, not just a weight goal, but like encompass everything that you can into that, into what life would be like, right? So, and as you think about that, like maybe you're not willing to do the work to lose that 30 pounds, but you're definitely willing to do the work to lose 10 pounds, right? So that's what we're talking about. We want to really get to what's that realistic that I'm like, yeah, I'm willing to do this, because you guys, it's going to require sacrifice to get ourselves somewhere else that we're not right now, right? So I would rather you be realistic about that rather than what you think is expected for you to say, or what you think you should be at, or whatever somebody else told you to be at. I'd really rather you set that for yourself so you can set yourself up for success, right? So for example, if you say, I want to lose 10 pounds and I'm willing to give up eating snacking between meals, I'm willing to give up sugar and flour, I'm willing to do some maybe intermittent fasting 5 days a week, and I think I can get that result with that level of activity, right? Then that will feel good. Now, for those of you who haven't gone through some of the weight loss work that I've done, or Mind and Body Confidence Camp, like I will be talking about all of these different tools that we have in order to lose weight, and the ones that I think are the most effective and the most sustainable in the long run. Okay, so I'm going to teach you a lot about that and just give you some options and give you some possibilities of things that you can be working with that might help you to get to where you want. But I'm not interested in you in committing to do something for 30 days, losing the 8 pounds, and then gaining it all back the next month. That's just not useful. And it's not very good for your psyche. And it's not useful for you in evolving yourself, right? I'm not interested in weight loss for the sake of weight loss. That's not why this class is for. I'm interested in weight loss and paying attention to overeating and any other habits that you don't want to be doing for your own personal evolvement. That is what's most important piece here. Okay. So number one, where are we at now, right? Awareness of that with truth and with love. And step two, where do you want to be and why do you want it, right? What do you want? What do you want and why do you want it? And what you want to include, maybe you want to include a weight, what size you want to be, where you want to be physically, but also where you want to be lifestyle. What do you want your lifestyle to be like? What do you want to be? How do you want to be living and feeling within getting to those goals that you have? A lot of us could have the body we want if we were willing to work out twice a day, eat lean, clean food all of the time. But most of us aren't willing to give up the lifestyle that we have, where we can have dessert every once in a while, or eat just those good foods, right, that bring us pleasure. We like to build in and have the body that's really healthy and really compatible with that lifestyle that we want to live, so that we have some balance. We're going to do so much work on this, and I think you guys are really going to just find some freedom in that if we set the right expectations for ourselves, right? So be honest, be a very curious student. Don't judge, come with a lot of love in those first 2 steps. Okay. Step number 3, we are going to commit for 30 days. Okay. Obviously, you know that as we set this up to do this for 30 days. So number 3, we're going to be committed for 30 days. We're committing to 30 days of resetting ourselves. So it is a jumpstart that will get us going to patient progress after that, right? Patient progress after that. The most important part of this reset is getting your mind ready to sustain the results that you're going to get. Anyone can lose 8 pounds in 30 days, right? Anyone can do that. You can even just use willpower to sustain it for a while. That's not what we're talking about here. The reset is, this reset is to reset your mind, to reset your focus, to reset your understanding of what it takes for you to maintain those changes. It's going to be exciting and really fun to get quick results. That first 30 days, you will get going, like you'll feel better, you'll feel thinner, you'll be able to feel different in your clothes, right? My goal for this group is to lose 8 pounds in one dress size, right? In this 30 days. So all of that is part of it, but it's not the end game. That's the beginning game, again, for the rest of the year. So step 3 is really committing to 30 days of mental work, because that's what's going to get you to that goal of making this sustainable through the rest of the year, through years to come, to be able to do that. And one of the most challenging things that I have when I get calls with clients, and when we get on calls, right, every week, I'm going to provide you with a video every single day of the month, right? And we're going to talk about some of these things. I'm going to kind of expand on some of the mental work and the mind work that I'm going to be doing, and talking about how to lose weight and get 8 pounds down. One of the most frustrating things that I think people ask is, and that they kind of rely on is like, okay, well, what should I eat today? Right. And I think the people in our group now, like, are beyond that, right? Or finding those results. But we have to start making those decisions for ourselves. I know in the past, and in using diets and things like that, like, we've been given so much structure as far as what to do, what to say yes to, and what to say no to. But if I'm telling you what to do, right? If I'm telling you what to do, what to eat, how much, all of those things, and then you don't have me, then you don't know what to do, right? So a lot of this work is about figuring out what works for your body, understanding hormones, which I'm going to talk about and teach you. I've been doing a lot of work on understanding your neurotransmitters, understanding your behaviors, so that you can do the work within the constructs of your own hormones, your own body, your own brain, to create a formula and a pattern that works for you. So I hope that you are excited about that, because I know sometimes I'm like, right? Like hearing that word intuitive eating or something like that, and you're like, well, I don't know how to do that or how to trust myself. And it's not really, this reset isn't about building that trust, right? We're going to work on that with some of the mental work, but it's also about finding what works for you, because different things and different ways of eating and things like that, like, work differently for people, right? Like, I've worked with quite a few clients who did like, per se, like intermittent fasting, right? Which is just eating within like a restrictive time period. And it doesn't even have to be, I use that word restrictive lightly, right? Because even like when we all fast, when we go to bed, that time from when we stop eating to when we start eating is a fast, right? So some people have found a lot of success in just elongating that to different periods of time, and they really love it. And they feel great and energized, and they feel strong. And then I've worked with other clients that it doesn't really work for them. Like, they don't like it in their lifestyle. They don't like the way that it feels. And that's great, right? Both ways are great. And we're going to figure out what works for you. And the way that we're going to do it is by creating a little bit of tension, a little bit of change, a little bit of awareness, and we're going to practice and experiment and see what works best for you. And it's amazing, especially with weight loss, what comes up for us emotionally, right? As we're doing this, to really see what's underneath a lot of the eating and underneath a lot of the food, because so much of weight issues is not an overeating problem. They're under-feeling problems, under-feeling. Instead of feeling our emotions, right? Like boredom, frustration, agitation, dissatisfaction, we're just having little snacks, right? Instead of feeling that vibration in our body. And those snacks just dull those vibrations. And so if we can learn how to feel better, not just like feel better, but we're going to like feel better about feeling our feelings, right? And make those feelings better. It stops us from overeating so much easier. And we're going to talk a lot about that, because that's really the underlying course of, it's not just the overeating, right? It's what's causing the overeating, which is underfeeling with ourselves. And of course, that applies to anything that we do to escape, right? Not just food. It might be Netflix, or it might be social media, or it might be drinking or smoking, or whatever it is that you try to do to escape that emotional fabric of your life. I'm going to help you with that over the next 30 days and really dive into that too. Okay. So that's step number 3, committing to that 30 days of really doing a reset. Okay. And our final step number 4, is doing the daily work of mind preparation. So step 3 is really committing to that 30 days. And step 4 is during that 30 days, doing the daily work of preparing your mind to increase patience, to increase resilience, to increase failure recovery, right? When things don't go well and you need to get back to it, increasing honesty with yourself, integrity, self-care, self-esteem. One of the most important things to creating long-lasting results in your life is to love yourself and feel really connected to your body and to your emotional life and to your cognitive life, and to take that really seriously at the expense of other things, right? At the expense of trying to escape feeling a lot of those things that will come up when we actually do that work. So when we think about the little pleasures of life, right, and how much they kind of round out a well-rounded life, when we start to overuse pleasure, right, especially false pleasure, like cookies and candy and milkshakes and fast food and that sort of thing, that becomes something that's truly at our own expense, right? Like you're actually taking the pleasure out of those experiences because of how we're using it. And I would really love to see you. I'm just looking at you. I would really love to see you have a lot of pleasure in your life. I really would. And I don't want to take that away from you. But I am about understanding that it doesn't have to be those false pleasures that come from instant gratification with food or with any other substance or activity that we want to do. You can have long-term pleasure that comes from creating dopamine in your own brain naturally instead of getting it artificially, right? By kind of spiking it with some of those things. So we're going to talk a lot about that over the next 30 days too. So for any of you guys considering the reset, thinking about what it is that you want to have and change in your life, where you maybe get lost, maybe there's some things that you've just kind of gotten a little lost along the way, right? These are the 4 steps to anything that you want to reset. When you go through this, will help you to get yourself going again and help you to experience good short-term results and good long-term results, right? Because we're looking to gain that energy, that excitement, that momentum. And then we're looking at something that is achievable and doable and fits within our lifestyle as we continue to do them, right? So let's kind of recap that. So first, where are you now? Where are you now? Where have you lost consciousness, right? Where are you overeating or over drinking or over anything that you're doing? So make sure that you're really truthful with yourself in this step where you're at. So look at yesterday, look at last week. What is the truth of what's going on, right? Like, what are the patterns that you see? And look at this again through that lens of love and compassion for yourself, knowing that when I know better, I can do better, right? And if I don't know better, if I remain unconscious to what's going on and I just keep letting life happen to me instead of creating the life that I want, I'm not going to be able to move myself forward. Okay. So that's step number 1. Where are you now? Step number 2, ask yourself, what do you want, right? What is the result that you want? And what's the activity that you want to sustain in order to produce that result? Be honest with yourself and why you want it, right? It's always good, I think, you guys, in this step 2, to note that you can expand on this later, right? Like if I decide, you know what, like sustainable for me right now with the lifestyle that I want is losing 15 pounds, right? Well, when I get to 15 pounds, do you think I'm going to be the same person that I am now? No, probably not, right? So she might be ready to say, okay, well, you know what? I am ready for the next 15 or 30 pounds or whatever it is that you be. So I want you to know, like, when you set up this goal, right, what you want and why you want it, it's not locking you in for the rest of your life, right? I hope that you have more than 3 months of life within you. And I say that in all honesty and sincerity, right? We would hate to see anything happen, but you will probably, the likelihood is that you're going to go beyond this, and it is okay for you to grow and expand in your goals as you grow and expand in who you are. So just note that, and note that this isn't something that, you know, we're signing in blood or is the only goal you're going to be able to ever set. But I do want you to pick something that's really fits for you right now and where you want to go. All right. And then step number 3, make the commitment to do the reset for 30 days. Do the 30-day reset. So for those of you not in momentum right now, I invite you to come and do this with me. Do this with us, right? You can sign up. Let me put a link in the comments here, but you can sign up if you go to tinasalisbury.com/summer-reset You can join Momentum for the next 30 days, really the next 45 days, because you'll get the rest of this month and all of July. And I'm going to take you through this process daily. And you're also going to get access to me every week through our live workshops, which happen on Tuesdays, our live coaching sessions, which happen on Friday mornings. And you're going to learn so much about yourself and let this be easy and more enjoyable for you. Okay, so let me put that in the comments. So you've got that again. It's tinasalisbury.com/summer-reset. Summer-reset. Okay, and number 4, the 4th thing is going through the process I'm going to take you through for mind preparation for sustainable results in your life. I really want to encourage you, if you've never worked with me directly, that it doesn't really matter what topic that you want to do, right? This 4th step is the step a lot of people will disregard, right? Or maybe you're just like, yeah, this is the one I need to step into. I know it, right? And it's time. It's time to do it. I will be, and probably have been, like, the thing that this is probably the step, right? This step of stepping into this mind preparation is maybe what you've told yourself, like, oh, you know, I don't really need that. Or maybe it's the thing that you put off, like, oh, I want to get to that, but I've got to do all of these other things first, right? So you're not making time for it. Or maybe you're just not doing it because you really don't want to know what's going on in this head sometimes, right? And you don't want to work to consciously feel through that. I get it. And I know it because even as someone who always desired to be a coach for other people, you guys, I placed very little value on this work and needing to do my own mindset work to move myself forward, right? And I knew a lot of it. I knew of, like, personal growth, and I did a lot of books, and I did a lot of listening to podcasts and creating good, you know, surrounding myself by good people and having a positive, you know, atmosphere around me. I did all of those things, but I never really, like, wanted to figure out what was going on in here. I think I really just didn't want to know. So I just spent a lot of years of my own life, like, feeling stuck because I couldn't, I never worked through a different type of belief or mindset. And it created a lot of dissatisfaction. It created a lot of resentment for many years. So when I went back to school to get my certification and then my master's certification as a life coach, it required me to be coached as much as I was coaching others, right? I put myself in that position because we coached each other. Like we were the people that we, connected with the most. And so I was coached a lot, and it truly changed my life. Like I truly saw the truth of it. Like we all need coaches. We all need someone in our life to ask us great questions, to help us pull back that curtain and navigate our emotional life, right? And I think of it like swimming in a river. I don't know if you've ever swam in a river. If you haven't swam in a river, maybe you've at least tried to walk upstream in a river, right? And if you've ever tried to do that, it's pretty tough, right? Sometimes it's nearly impossible to work our way up. So this is what I feel like it's like when we keep trying to just change our behaviors, right? To just try to, willpower our way, white knuckle ourselves through, do this because it's the only way, or it should be the way I get results. And we never actually address like the root of the problem, right? We have to allow ourselves to stop pushing against this current and just be carried back, right? If we stop trying to go, if I try to stop swimming up this river and I just allow myself to go, I'll probably get carried back down, right? I'll get carried back down. I'll feel a little bit behind, but really I'm not, because first I have to start further downstream. I have to start further downstream and understanding what the identity is that I need to sustain the changes, right? I need to understand what the beliefs are, what the values are, what the skills I need are to get where I'm going. And once I do that, right, it's just like naturally I'm cascading and the river is flowing with me and I'm moving forward, right? And I'm flowing down this river with ease. And I'm not trying to fight the current of trying to make changes that aren't aligned in alignment with the current mindset that I have. And if we don't take the time to do this, we don't take the time in step number 4 to really do this work, to really understand the things that are holding us back underneath, right? Or the things that we need to be and become to move ourselves forward, then we will always struggle. We're never going to create sustainable change. And especially the change that we do gain from that doesn't feel good, right? It isn't positive. It isn't creating fulfillment. When we get to that goal, it doesn't feel like enough, right? It feels like, oh, well, I've got to find something else to make myself feel worthy, to make myself feel like I am enough. So you cannot get from where you want to go. You cannot get where you want to go from the same level of consciousness that got you here, right? Let me say that again, maybe a little bit more clearly. You cannot get to where you want to go from the same level of consciousness that got you here. You just can't. The mindset that you have sustains and is comfortable for the you that has achieved what you have done. So anytime that we are considering and we want to move ourselves to a place that we haven't been before or haven't sustained before, we have to become and align ourselves to be a different person. We have to do that because we will not get there, and we will not get there long term from where we are right now. So it's so important that we allow ourselves to just be carried a little bit further down the stream so we can actually do this work the right way and really change what's going on underneath the eating, change what's going on underneath the habits and why we believe has to be done this way, or why we're not willing to give up these things, or why we keep thinking the way that we're thinking. I will guide you in mastering your own mind, and it will be the most rewarding work that you have ever done for yourself, and it will change everything. For us, we're going to be talking about losing those 8 pounds in 1 month, right? We're going to be doing a 30-day reset for 8 pounds down. But what I want you to learn in that course, what I want you to learn in this class over this 30 days, what I want you to learn by working with me in this month is that you are able to apply this to all other areas of your life, right? When you apply it to this and the principles and the mindsets and the things that you learn, you will be able to apply that when you do this reset for yourself. And just doing this process, even if you don't join this class, you guys, even if you don't join Momentum, even if you just do these 4 steps and you get your mind ready based on the work that I've taught you in this class tonight, you can go make changes in your life. It doesn't leave you feeling like you won't be able to sustain them, right? That feels worse, to feel like we've got results, but we're not going to be able to sustain them, right? To lose 8 pounds in 1 month and gain it all back the next month is a terrible feeling. I have done that. It is a terrible feeling. We want you to be able to lose 8 pounds and then maintain it if that's what you want to do, or continue losing if you want to lose more after that. But do it in a way that feels and promotes self-care and really helps you to learn the tools and skills that you can apply to all of the areas of your life. I started coaching in weight loss, but then I applied these principles in coaching myself, not only in weight loss, but taking what I've learned in weight loss, right? Which is why I created the Mind and Body Confidence Camp. And I started applying it to my work and doing less procrastinating and stepping into harder things that I wanted to do. And then I applied it to making money and overcoming some negative money mindsets. And I have applied it to loving in my relationships. And I've applied it into maintaining my household and to all of the things, being able to reset my mind to focus on what I want and then move forward from there. And if right now you're feeling lost, if you're feeling hopeless, if you're feeling like you don't have the direction, if you feel like, yeah, it would be nice to lose weight, it would be nice to do all of these other things, and you just feel like you don't really know where to go, then I want you to consider that this reset is really just you programming your GPS, right? You're just putting in the destination, getting the directions to get there, and knowing where you're starting. And once you get there, once you follow the directions and get there, you see that you can achieve that result, then you can do it yourself the next time, right? You know what to do, you know where to turn, you know which way to go, you'll know how to program your own GPS, and you won't have to have a dependence on a specific diet or a specific person. You'll be able to depend on you and do a reset in your own life whenever you want. Okay. So I'm excited for this next 4 weeks. I'm going to open it up and just answer any questions, do a little bit of coaching if you guys want. But again, you can sign up for Momentum. I want you to be involved with this. I want you to experience and see the changes for yourself. So go to tinasalisbury.com/summer-reset. And for being here tonight, and for participating in doing this, I've actually already applied for your first month for this month. So you'll get the rest of June free, you'll get all of July, and I've applied a $50 discount to your monthly payment. So Momentum is $249 a month. And so this first month you'll get $50 off. So it's $199. And that code will be applied. You don't need any code or anything. It's already set up in there when you go to that site, tinasalisbury.com/summer-reset. It'll automatically apply it to you. You'll also get opened up to you my whole Mind and Body Confidence Camp. All of that course will be available to you. You'll get our members library. Again, you'll get weekly coaching with me. You'll get a weekly workshop with me as we go through this process together. And every day I'll be sharing a video in the group. I'll be sharing some content in the group. I'll be sharing all of my own work with you in the group so that you can see my thought audits. You can see my urge jar, my urge sheet, as I track my urges and things like that, so that you can see how I'm doing it. And hopefully I think that will be a really good example for you and really help you to really be able to do that for yourself. And I'm really excited about when we are doing this challenge, right? I don't know if you are, but I hope that you will be. I think sometimes we wait until the timing is right, or the kids go back to school, or it's not summer and there's not so many parties and there's not so many things going on. And I actually thought that these months in June and July would be perfect because we're in the middle of summer, especially for weight loss, right? For those of you who want to get fit for the rest of the summer, who want to lose some weight for the rest of the summer. But it's also a time where it's going to be the most challenging, right? There's going to be a lot going on in the summer. There's usually less structure in the summer, less routine, more parties, more get-togethers. And here's what I want you to know. If you can figure out the reset now, this month, these busy months for us, the rest of the months will be easy. And I promise you that the way that I've set this up for you to do the reset will be easy. And I'm going to make this reset happen in my own life. So I thought it would be a really great way to share this with you and kind of fun. I hope to maybe see some behind the scenes in my crazy, messy life and what I'm doing to show up for myself and how I'm managing through a lot of those same situations. Okay. So join us again, tinasalisbury.com/summer-reset. And let's go all in. Let's change our lives in 30 days, right? The nice way, a kind way, in a loving way, in a way that's sustainable for us to be able to really enjoy this and set ourselves up for a lot of long-term success. Okay. So questions, coaching, like thoughts that come up. Where are we at? I talked a lot.
Tina, I gotta, did you say that the challenge or that the reset actually starts tomorrow or Monday? You probably said it, but
the 19th. So it's June 19th through July 15th.
Okay,
June
cool.
Through July 15th.
Okay.
So in the group, there will be so some information we'll talk about it and go over it tomorrow in coaching also. But I'm gonna give you like a worksheet for this, for the 4 steps that you can go through and actually just write this out for yourself and do some of that work and just set ourselves up with some things as far as getting started, right? So you've got some metrics for you to start with and things like that too.
Wait, well, this couldn't come at a better time for me because I feel like I needed a reset since vacation stuff, and I have another vacation coming up in a month. And so I want to do better on the coming home part of that vacation than I feel like I did this time around. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
Good. I'm excited too. And like I said, it's when we start to allow ourselves to figure it out and how to fit this, make it a lifestyle so that it's not like the ebbs and flows. It just is the way we are. Life becomes really fun, right? And again, that's not to say that we never, indulge a little bit on vacation, but we don't have to like go from those extremes, right? The alls or nothings and things like that. There's so many ways that we can feel good in all of it and be and maintain good health. And kind of, again, so important, you guys, like as you're looking at that, don't just look at the result that you want. I really want you to look at that backwards, not forward. I know that sounds weird to do that, but when we look at it backwards, you're going to be able to not only see yourself in the result that you want, but you're going to be able to see what that lifestyle looks like, right? Because when we look back at this last year, it's not just going to be about sitting at home wishing that we could have gone to the birthday party and had birthday cake, right? You're going to see yourself in that party. And what does that look like? And what are you creating? What kind of things do you want that to be about for you? And that'll be a really powerful experience.
Well, I'm excited. So let's go.
Good. I'm excited too. So I know I usually like make you guys interact and talk and do all of the things. And I just like was right at you tonight. So any other questions or thoughts or things that you guys want to kind of get some coaching on tonight?
I'm good, but thank you.
Okay, awesome. All right, you guys, thank you so much. And we will see those of you in Momentum tomorrow.
Sounds
Perfect.
great. Bye.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.
You too.